Before we get started with today's video, we'd just like to offer you a free online evaluation of your property. If you're interested in knowing the value of your home, just go to vancouverhousevalues.net, fill out the form, and we will instantly email you out the value of your home. Hey, thanks for joining us for this month's video about June's real estate statistics. Before we get started, I'd just like to ask you if you get any value or enjoyment out of these videos. We'd really appreciate it if you would either click the like button if you're watching on Facebook, or make a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to make a comment there or subscribe to our station as well. So June marked the second consecutive month that we've seen the real estate market have a better month than the previous before. The business pattern this year has been really unusual because of COVID, obviously. January and February, before COVID became a thing, were kind of their normal months in that they were a couple of the slower months of the year. By March, though, the market was really ramping up pre-COVID and was extremely busy until things started to get pretty serious and the news started to get bad. So around the third week of March, we saw the market slow down in a hurry, and that continued all through the month of April. April of this year was the worst April in 38 years, since 1982, as far as sales went for the Greater Vancouver market. There was only about 1,100 sales all month for the entire Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. Last month, in May, I should say, it came up to almost 1,500 sales, and then in June, we got up over 2,000 sales for the month. So sales have started to come back a little bit. Prices have been staying flat during this period. I know there were a lot of the doom prognosticators, the same people that have been calling for the market to crash for the last decade, that are going to be disappointed to hear this, but prices are not tanking. Prices are staying flat. And a big reason that prices are staying flat is because there is a lack of inventory. Real estate works on supply and demand. It is a free market. So when there are a lot of properties for sale and not as many buyers, you'll see prices starting to decline. When you see an equal amount of buyers and sellers in the marketplace that we see right now, prices will remain flat. And when you see a lot more people selling their home than there are buyers there, that's what we call a buyer's market. And if the market stays that way for a long period of time, prices will start to decline. I've got some real interesting statistics here about the board and the numbers for the market for the month of June. So if we want to talk about detached houses, these statistics just floored me. So the detached housing market, these are the percentages I'm going to give you of how many homes that did sell during the month of June sold with multiple offers. They sold above asking price. So on the west side of Vancouver, 27% of the houses that sold above asking. Well, that's really interesting because the market, that's the most expensive market in the Lower Mainland. And it's not just the lower end of the market on the west side that's busy. It's busy all the way up to $4 million. It is a seller's market. On the east side, 36%, more than 1 out of every 3 houses sold with multiple offers. In Richmond, which has been really slow for the last few years, 20% sold with multiple offers. So we're starting to see signs of life there. In Burnaby, 31%. North Van, 40%. There's been a lack of supply for detached houses in North Van for years now. Even Tawasin, which has had a real struggle over the last few years since the foreign buyers tax, had 15% of their properties sell above asking. So those are just for detached houses. Now let's talk for the condo market. And what's really interesting, the detached housing market has had higher percentage of houses selling with multiple offers, the more expensive properties, than the condos and townhouses did. Downtown, one of the most active markets usually, only had 16% of the properties sell with multiple offers. The west side, 28%, east side, 21%, Richmond, 12%, and North Van, 20%. So In spite of all these things, all the things you see that have happened to this market since 2016, increased foreign buyers tax, increased property transfer tax, speculation tax, mortgage stress tests, all of those things, then throw in a pandemic and this market keeps moving along. So whether this is the calm before the storm when real economic impact may settle on later this year, that remains to be seen. But one of the other things that we're starting to see is now we're starting to see inventories climb a bit. I think what happened once the pandemic came in the early days in March and April, when a lot of those people who were thinking about selling their home, they just thought, no, we're putting our plans on hold. This is a bad time to sell. Well, a lot of those people realized that the pandemic so far, touch wood, wherever there's wood around here, has not affected BC as much as it has affected a lot of the other areas in Canada. So because of that, I think we're seeing a lot more optimism around here. Whether it's a long-term thing or not remains to be seen. The outlook for the summer should be a little different than it normally is. Typically, March, April, May, June are the four busiest months in Vancouver. You'll see the most sales in those 4 months. Then it'll slow down in July and August. Then it'll come back strong again, Labor Day through about the beginning to the 10th of December, in which time it'll slow down again to around the beginning of March. This year, because of just everything being different, people not being able to travel as much, a lot of the people in the spring that didn't sell, I'm anticipating a more active summer than we'll normally see. So thanks for taking the time to listen to this. We really appreciate it. Once again, if you got any value out of this video, please click a like or a thumbs up or make a comment. We always appreciate them, good or bad. As long as they are intelligent and you have put some thought into it, we would really like to hear what you have to say. I'm Jamie Hooper with RE/MAX Crest and jamiehooper.com, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.